Welcome back, everybody. I hope you got a chance to get out and see a really good movie this weekend. I know I did, which is what I'm going to be talking about pretty briefly in this video. I went out and I saw the Daniel Kincaid, Charles Kincaid film Solo Mio with Kevin James, Kim Coates, Jonathan Rumi, Miss. Um, it was just a lot of good casting in this film that I feel like went underappreciated. But this is a really good movie. Kevin James kind of gives us a fresh twist on a classic romantic comedy formula by asking what if the tables were turned. Um, there's actually this really cool moment in the film, kind of in the very opening, where, as you guys know, probably leading up to this film, he's been kind of teasing on Instagram. Kevin James took on the identity of Matt Taylor and kind of shot this whole thing where he was a different person leading up to his actual wedding in Italy for this film, kind of as a promotional tool that I found kind of fun. I didn't personally get to witness it. I've heard a lot of friends talk about it um, because I'm not currently on social media, haven't been for a while. But he did a good job there, kind of leading up to this. And so what we get here is a really cool moment where, instead of the bride being left at the altar, kind of in this subgenre that we get in a lot of romantic movies, it's actually the groom and the tables turn. And there's this really cool moment that I feel like kind of dropped you into the movie where up until this moment it's been really fun, really romantic, and you're kind of like, and wait a minute, am I remembering this right? Because some of the videos, like he kind of does like this phone film like video thing at the very beginning before the wedding scene, where you're like, did I remember this movie wrong? Does she die or something? Because it kind of feels like this is memories of someone who's passed on. But then you get the wedding scene, and what it is just this cold moment where like everything just kind of freezes and it just zooms in on him, and it's a really cool shot because it just kind of goes dead silent, like those nightmares you have, and it's a really cool way to kind of shoot that idea. It's kind of a hard thing to like. How do you make the emotional gravity of this moment work? And I think they do a really good job with this. So, and instead of the bride being left standing at the altar in white, heartbroken and embarrassed, we get a groom in all black left stunned in the most romantic place on earth. And I think that that's a great way to kind of express what I'm putting in there in words. Just this moment of like, you know, whoa. It was kind of a cool way to drop you into this idea. But it's a simple reversal, but it just adds enough freshness to make the story feel new. And I kind of feel like that's one thing that I really love about this movie. Not only this movie, but just the idea that this movie asked, where what if the tables turned a little bit and it wasn't just the classic idea? Because Kevin James sort of elevates himself in this film from a uh, King of Queens, Hitch, Sandler crony comedy type character who is mostly physical to a really balanced and well built Matt Taylor type character that wasn't overly comedic or wasn't like overly dramatic, where that's one extreme or the other, but an actual well built character that's uh, feels like a person and not just a caricature of an idea, if that makes any sense at all. But what we get in this movie with him is a real connection to someone, and I think that's what's been missing for a while in these movies is you don't usually get a real connection. You kind of just watch a romance happen on screen, and this one kind of feels different. It feels a little bit more weighty, a little bit more like gravitas, sad, and to the same exact opposite, there's a little bit of hope there, which I kind of love. So I think this is an instant classic entry into the left of the altar subgenre of romantic films. and I think it's a good one to go see if you're looking for something to do with your sweetheart this Valentine's Day or February, and you don't necessarily want to go and watch something like Wuthering Heights or Crime 101 or some of the other ones that are in theaters right now. I am hoping to go see Crime 101 actually as of posting this video on today's Saturday, so I'll be looking for that review here soon. Um, but this is a really cool one. It didn't hurt the film that they actually shot it on location in Italy, in Rome. And there's this moment after all this thing happens where he's talking to the concierge, Matt Taylor is, at the hotel, and he says, "What am I gonna do? I kind of just want to get rid of this whole honeymoon package and go home." And the concierge says, "Well, I can't do that for you, but what I can tell you to do is go and enjoy Italy." And I thought that was a brilliant way to do it, because the reality is that he's not going to go home, and he's got to do something with it. And so they just tell him, go and enjoy as a single man. And of course, it does end up working out for him. He meets his friends, these kind of this balance of characters between Jonathan Rumi and Kim Coates and their partners and playoff characters, who are also really cool, um, good actresses that just my brain has escaped on names. But it's a really cool like balance they do with those characters as well. Because sometimes those characters will come in the middle of a comedy movie and make it overly comedic, or like try to kind of make it weird, and it doesn't do any of that. It actually works really well as like a couple of characters just taking him out of his comfort zone. Um, but I feel like this is a really the setting adds a lot of charm, and the emotional connection you actually build with Matt is important, and really is what carries this film. Is Kevin James's portrayal of Matt Taylor, I feel like, is the whole thing, along with his scene partner, the amazing Italian actress. She does a great job um, balancing him out, and there's a connection you get to both characters, and you kind of get built in this movie. And it's like I said, it's not overly Kevin James. Like, I think he's kind of entered into a new type of character and later in his acting career, which I feel like is needful for him. And I went into this movie with kind of mixed expectations, and hoping it wasn't like Hitch, but it also wasn't like you know something terribly sad like The Notebook or whatever. But it is one of those ones that kind of works well as a well balanced, feel good and yet weighty uh, romantic films that I feel like we don't get a lot of nowadays. But um, the romance itself is played out in a classic way, but there's a nice little twist secret woven into the story that keeps things kind of interesting. You kind of wonder what's going to happen. Is he going to tell her? Is she going to tell him something happened? Or like who's hiding what? And you just don't know, but there's a tension there that you're like, what is it? Is he going to tell her at any point that, you know, he can, or what, it's like this kind of game of like who's gonna say what first. And I just kind of feel like that works. There are a couple cameos in this movie that I wanted to talk about. Andrea Bocelli, the Italian singer, makes a appearance in this movie along with Ed Sheeran, and I'm not going to tell you how or where, but those were two things that I was like, wow, awesome, nice cameo land there, to the directors and to the cast. Great stuff. And you know the Italian countryside is just such a beautiful setting for a really well done um, filming, and some of the camera shots are really cool. Like I said, the opening wedding shot is one of the best ones I think I've seen in a romance movie probably in a good long time. I can't think of one that um, kind of matches up to it, but you know, it's a cool idea. So, but all that to say, it's a nice little movie, and overall, it's a feel good flick, perfect for Valentine's Day or a laid back date night for a cozy couple, or even somebody who just wants to go out and see a movie and doesn't want to have the weight of something like I said, Wuthering Heights or something else that's out right now. You just want to go see something simple that's family friendly. This movie keeps it clean, and it's very, very well done. I don't think it's cheesy in any way, and I think it lives up to the hype of what it sells itself as. So that's all I had to say. This is going to be kind of a shorter video. Be looking for my video for Crime 101 coming out here soon, along with a couple other ones that I'm hoping to get done over the long weekend. And then also this month we have a couple of other ones. We're coming up soon on Oscar season. I already have my Oscar ballots printed out. When the Oscars are over, we will go through and we will just see how things ended up turning out. My prediction right now, if you want one from me, I think that One Battle After Another will take um, everything, or Sinners will take everything. But like I've said to my wife in conversation, I said I think those two will be the big two, and once one of them wins Best Picture, I think they'll just win everything else. So, and I understand both. I have watched One Battle After Another. I didn't get to finish Sinners. It just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't watch it and won't find something enjoyable in it. But just wasn't my wasn't my cup of tea. But all that to say, make sure you guys like, subscribe. Let me know if you see this movie, um, Solo Mio, and if what your thoughts were. If you agree with me, if you disagree, hey, just make sure that you guys don't hate it. Okay, um, I give it 5 stars if I could, but as always, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video with a friend. Go support your local theaters. I always encourage people to do so, and go see a movie. But until next time, peace out, gangsters.